Sue, it ain't natural to be in a place without a disco. Hello, huge movie fanatic Nate, stopping on by. This time I'm coming at you to do my second review of a Blu-ray of this film. I'm coming at you to review the absolutely fantastic Arrow Video presentation of The Hills Have Eyes, Part 2, just recently released on Blu-ray. So, yay, finally, all of us fans of this movie, all three of us, me included, me being one of the three, have finally got a companion piece to their wonderful, this is the limited edition version, of course, to their wonderful limited edition presentation of the first original movie. So I'll be reviewing, seeing as how I already reviewed the movie in one video, and then I did a video later on reviewing the, was it a Kino Lorber, the original Blu-ray? This video won't be a review of the movie, but just the Arrow Video Blu-ray. One thing I do want to showcase, as I so often do in reviews like this is where it all started. On HBO Video in, I don't know, it's not saying, it's Roman numerals, and I'm not Roman, so I don't know, sometime in the 80s this VHS tape was released, but this is what I probably got back in the 90s, having seen this at the age of 15 and subsequently, liking it quite a bit at the time. And it was really fun, for a teenager, kind of the Friday the 13th version of Hills Have Eyes. It wasn't as gritty and serious and nasty and hard to watch as the first movie. Is a lot more accessible, as I probably said in my review of the film. But this is one of the original, I don't know if this is the original, but definitely one of the original VHSs. And I actually really like the back. A great shot there of Pluto, but I think the back is really kind of cool with that explosion artwork of the bus there, and really makes the movie look exciting and cool. And is that like a painting of the explosion of the bus? I can't tell. It looks like a painting or something. But here's the original VHS from HBO Video, and I'm not finding the copyright's probably just for the movie anyway. And then of course the next version of this I would get would be this Image Entertainment DVD, which I'm sure I showcased probably in my review of the first Blu-ray that came out. This DVD is really crappy quality. This movie has been played, with the exception of the VHS version, on digital. It's been played with crappy versions. Like the first DVD was pretty crappy. I mean, I thought being an Image release it'd be a great DVD, but it's really crappy presentation on the DVD. Well, I was trying to see when the DVD was released. It looks like it might be a case of Roman numerals. It might be 2002 or something like that. Might have been the release date of the original DVD. And of course I've already released this. This is the I don't know, Horizon movies. I mean, I guess it's, I don't know, it's a collaboration maybe between Kino Lorber and Horizon Movies. So maybe we can blame Horizon Movies for this, lackluster version of this movie on this presentation. But I've already reviewed this Blu-ray back before we had any other option to watch it. So this is the second disc version, or at least in North America. And of course now we have what I would regard as the definitive and the actual first time, at least in this country, North America, was released on disc in a version that's actually frickin' decent here by good old Arrow Video in the limited edition treatment. Slipping the disc out of the little cardboard sleeve there, we've got this disc here. And as always, I'll show you the limited edition contents on this particular release. It's kind of, not that many special features, unfortunately. We got a brand new 2K restoration from original Film Elements, high definition Blu-ray. Well, that's, to be expected. Presentation, original uncompressed mono audio. As always, or so often is the case, we got a commentary with the Hysteria Continues. I never listened to those. The best thing on here as far as special features is the Blood, Sand, and Fire Making of the Hills Have Eyes Part 2, featuring interviews with producer Michael Berryman and Janice Blythe, and production designer and Harry Manfredini, which is cool to see him talk about it, and the unit production manager / first assistant director. We got a still gallery, original theatrical trailer, and all the rest of this stuff you can see on the limited edition contents on your screen there. So I will say that, having basically obviously owning all these versions of Hills Have Eyes on home video, that finally this is obviously the best way this has been seen on home video thus far, at least in North America. I'm imagining that anywhere this is probably the best this movie's ever been seen. It blows the hell, the Horizon, the Kino Lorber / Horizon Blu-ray out of the water. I mentioned in my review of that, I don't know if it was a couple years ago when I reviewed that some of the darks were just so dark, and that's been fixed. Maybe not completely, but been much, much more fixed in this version. A lot of those darks are much more visible now, and the colors are, the sharpness in this thing is just beautiful. The colors is just great. And one thing that should be said is, for whatever reason, the first Blu-ray, the Kino Lorber / Horizon release was released in 1:6:6 ratio, which was really kind of goofy. This one, a lot of people are glad to hear that it's actually in the 1:8:5 version, which is more fills up your 16:9 screen, of course. I prefer that on this release compared to the 1:6:6. I don't know where they got the idea to do that ratio from when they did the first Blu-ray, but what can I say? This looks absolutely great. And what I mentioned in my review of Bloody Birthday, when I reviewed that movie in its Arrow Video Blu-ray release, is that this movie, I've always been a fan of it. I saw it for the first time as a teenager when I was 15, I think, and I've always liked it. It was a cool, different take on a Hills Have Eyes movie featuring the same classic Pluto, although he's not utilized nearly as much as one would like, and he doesn't barely do anything of any kind of value or importance or interest other than just being a kind of a bumbling idiot. But it was a cool, different take on a Hills Have Eyes movie, and to be honest, I don't see a lot of people mentioning this in their little reviews on forums and stuff, that, for me, Harry Manfredini being the guy who did the music for this one, and being a Friday the 13th fan, was a huge deal for me. And a lot of people have a problem with so many of the flashbacks and the footage from the original movie, but upon rewatching this again, it's just like, I don't think there's much, many flashbacks or as much time spent on flashbacks as people think, and it could have been a lot worse. The flashbacks are edited down to the truncated versions to make the points come across more as quick as possible. And what's fun about the flashback, the footage from the first movie being included in this movie, is we get to see these scenes rescored by Harry Manfredini, which is kind of fun. So I've never, ever, even now, still to this day, I've never had a problem with the footage from the first movie being included in the second one. Yes, it's kind of a way to obviously extend the running time of this movie, but call me just biased because I saw this as for the first time as a 15-year-old. But I've never had a problem, and still don't have a problem, with the inclusion of the footage from the first movie. Mainly because, if it was the footage from the first movie with the music from the first movie, I might have more of a problem with it. But hearing, as I said, Harry Manfredini do his take in scoring the flashback scenes, I really think just makes it makes them more fun for this movie. It makes them much more of a part of this movie as opposed to being a part of that movie, because it's taking something from the previous movie and then melding it with something from this movie. So it was really kind of fun in that regard. But absolutely slam bang presentation. I was kind of surprised and happy to see at the same time that this isn't a completely and totally perfect presentation. I don't have a problem with it, as I said so many times in reviews past. I actually like film artifacts and stuff, but there was instances, not very often, but where there'll be like freaking vertical lines that go like this. They last maybe a couple seconds and go away. But as I've said so many times in reviews, Blu-ray reviews past, things like that, and it really just, especially in a genre movie like this, really add to the midnight screening aspect of it. And really, in the age now, movies being primarily shot digital, it's really fun to see actual things on the screen, artifacts and stuff that remind the viewer that this was in fact shot, authored and distributed on film. So I don't have a problem with that. So what can I say? Absolutely slam bang production. The image is absolutely beautiful. And I think what I was originally going to say, I don't know if I said it, I think I got sidetracked, is very much with like my Blu-ray review of Bloody Birthday. you know, watching a movie that might be, you know, maybe not the best movie ever made, or, you know, in a lot of cases regarded as subpar, seeing such a great, you know, technically great presentation of it on Blu-ray makes it all the more, you know, makes it even better. And a lot of people would argue, well, it's not good to begin with, but it makes a movie that might not be that great of a movie to begin with, you know, it really makes it shine to the best of its ability. And this release is definitely the release you're going to want for that particular factor. It really makes it shine. One thing that I did say kind of at the beginning of this review that kind of disappointed, I mean, I kind of feel like this limited edition thing was just a way for them to get just money grab kind of situation, but at the same time, since they did that with the original release, I kind of like that they did it with the sequel, because then it's a much more of a a competent companion piece to that original limited edition of the first film. But I do kind of feel at the end of the day it's kind of a money grab, because on the disc itself, in terms of special features, there's not a whole hell of a lot. You know, no commentary from any people that made the movie, just that little bit of a documentary where everyone's kind of just, you know, they're just kind of trashing it. I just don't understand the hate for this movie. I mean, have you people seen the movies, the majority of the movies that come out now? I mean, I just don't understand the hate for this movie. Maybe I'm biased because I saw it as a 15-year-old. I don't know. But that's my one complaint about the movie that, you know, that I will say is that, or not the movie, the Blu-ray rather, is that it is very limited on special features. You just have that, you know, that retrospective making of Hills Have Eyes Part 2 documentary, and really not a whole hell of a lot else, really. So it's really, that's my biggest probably complaint with this release, is it's really scarce on special features. But you, just like with the first release, you get the cool things like the all-important postcards, of which I'll share with you guys on the back of, oh, here's that painting that's utilized on the back of the VHS. But here are the 6 postcards you get. It's on the back of all of them. And then this is your Thorn EMI, what's it say? Screen Entertainment. It's kind of like the artwork for the home video version. Right there, postcard. This is really cool. It's like a reproduction of a lobby card. So these things, you know, are fun to have. This is not the greatest photo of this guy in the world, but it's like another lobby card reproduction. This is cool. It's like a foreign poster art. I just love, you know, foreign international poster art. It's just so cool to see their take on a movie. A lot of times the artwork's a lot better than the artwork from the country the movie was originated from. Alright, mother, you just moved into our game. Reaper sucks! And here's your last, or what do they call it, a postcard. That's kind of cool. Look at that. The hills have eyes, and then, like, in parentheses, I don't know if you can see it, Part 2. But that's a cool picture. And then also included inside with the postcards is this thing, and then their upcoming little advertising for their upcoming limited edition of RoboCop. Here's what the disc art looks like. It's the newly commissioned artwork for Arrow Video Presentation. Then you also get this 40-page booklet, which is something you also get. I never read any of the stuff in here because I'm not the biggest reader in the world, but for you readers, you got a 40-page booklet. And then just like with the limited edition release of the original movie on Arrow Video, you've got a mini poster here with newly commissioned Arrow Video artwork. And if you don't like that, you've got a mini poster with the original kind of, I don't know, home video. I don't know if this was theatrical poster art, I don't know, but it was home video VHS poster art for sure. So that's always kind of cool. This obviously comes folded like this and slips into the cardboard case thing that holds all of the stuff, the poster, the booklet, and the Blu-ray case. Then, as so often is the case with a release like this, you have the option for this newly commissioned cover art or the original VHS home video cover art. And just like with the release of the Hills Have Eyes limited edition on Arrow video that they put out years ago, maybe a couple years ago now, I'll probably leave this artwork facing out on the, you know, the plastic case, because then on the, here's the back, because then when you slip it into the cardboard sleeve, of course, it showcases the newly commissioned, so it's like the best of both worlds. So there's the spine. Incidentally, this is the back. There's a temporary cardboard sleeve that folds around the back from the bottom of the front, that when it's packaged it shows the, you know, the content or the features on the back, but then when you open it, you know, you just take that cardboard piece out and or off the back, and it's the picture of Reaper on the motorcycle. I don't know how he knows how to ride one, but whatever. So although this release is rather sparse on special features, I would recommend this, of course, for us three fans of Hills Have Eyes Part 2. And, you know, it probably wouldn't hurt to wait to see if you can get this at a reduced price. I, of course, got it at the higher price that it, you know, was going for right on release day. But for me, you know, being a fan of this movie and really, you know, for a long time really wanting just a version of this that did the movie justice, I'd had no problem paying, you know, the kind of the highest asking price for it upon the, you know, right around its release. I was really excited when the news of this release came down the pike. I'm like, finally. And how cool to do a limited edition version of it to match the limited edition version they did of the first movie a couple of years ago. So although I would, you know, have no problem agreeing with anyone who would say it's kind of just a cash grab and a you know, special features, you know, sparse release, and kind of just doing a limited edition version just to cash in on people like me who are willing to pay that for this movie, I would agree that's, you know, that's definitely what it is. And one would be probably much better off, you know, waiting to buy the non-limited edition version later on. That should be said. I don't know if they even start selling those until the limited version is sold out. That might not happen for a decade. I mean, who the hell knows how many you know, copies of a limited edition they made or whatever. But thank you very much for watching my review of Hills Have Eyes Part 2, recently released Blu-ray by Arrow Video. And as always, we'll catch you on the next video.